Types of premises, facts, and opinions. Arguments consist of two parts, premises and conclusions. When you are grappling with a problem or issue, you must figure out what is known or what can be known about the topic. As you develop greater knowledge, you can find one or more premises that come together to lead to a particular conclusion, a solution to a problem, or a position on an issue. Collectively, these premises and the conclusions they lead to make up your argument. Both premises and conclusions can take different forms. The conclusion of an argument may be a fact or an opinion. Similarly, the premises used to support a particular conclusion may be facts or opinions. In this module, you will learn about the differences between facts and opinions, as well as how both are used in the construction of arguments. Facts. A fact is a statement about the world as it is. Through empirical observation, that is, studying using one or more of your senses, you can figure out if a factual statement is true or not, at least in theory. At least in theory, because in practice, it may be very difficult to definitively determine if a given fact is true or not. If a friend told you that her dog, Izzy, is black and white, you could easily figure out if that fact is true or not. Just take a look at her dog. If she then made the claim that all dogs are black and white, it would be a little more difficult for you to assess the truth of that claim. You would need to look at more dogs. But as soon as you found one dog that was not black and white, you would be able to refute her claim. Most likely, it would still be a pretty quick process. However, what if she made the claim that all dogs have two ears? Now, you've probably seen enough dogs in your life to know that at least most dogs have two ears. But can you, in practice, actually find out if that is true for all dogs? It's pretty unlikely that you would ever be able to examine each and every dog in the world to count how many ears it has. Perhaps, early on in your search, you might come across a one-eared dog and be able to reject the claim. But you might also look at a lot of dogs without finding any without two ears. Whether they can, in practice, be definitively proven, it is most important to keep in mind that a fact is at least potentially subject to verification by empirical observations. A fact is something we know or can come to know. Those facts that are readily observed are uncontestable. They cannot be contested or opposed, whereas those that are more difficult to prove may be seen as contestable, like the assertion that all dogs have two ears. Opinions. An opinion is a statement about the world as one thinks it is or should be or could be. In crafting an argument, opinions must still be grounded in reasons rather than instinct, intuition, or faith. But they are not subject to the same process of verification as facts. While an opinion may be judged to be more or less accurate or acceptable, it cannot be proven by empirical observation. Sometimes, in making an argument, people try to present opinions as if they were facts. They may even make that claim explicit, as in the phrase, "Let's face facts." For example, consider the following argument. Let's face facts. The CEO has not handled the latest product launches very well. He's a disaster in meetings, and our finances are a mess. It's time to fire him. Now, are any of those claims actually facts? Can you prove through empirical observation whether they're true or not? Or are those really opinions, beliefs about the CEO's performance that can be evaluated as more or less acceptable, but never definitively proven? Just because opinions cannot be proven true or false through observation does not mean that they're not important parts of making and evaluating arguments. Many of the most important social, ethical, political, and economic questions address issues that are not subject to empirical observation. This is also true of many day-to-day decisions. Consider the earlier argument. Let's face facts. The CEO has not handled the latest product launches very well. He's a disaster in meetings, and our finances are a mess. It's time to fire him. Now, the claims made in that argument may not be facts that can be definitively proven, but that does not mean they should not be taken seriously or that they cannot be evaluated. You can look into the company's operations, assess how the product launches went, review what happens in meetings, and check on the finances. There will be more evidence. Facts, such as financial statements, and opinions, such as how employees view the CEO, that can help you determine how acceptable these claims are, and thus whether the conclusion that the CEO should be fired is strong or weak. Opinions, beliefs about the way the world is or should be, play a major role in how we examine issues and solve problems. Using facts and opinions. Facts and opinions can be used as the premises of an argument, and they can also be represented in the conclusion. Some conclusions are facts. For example, a student may claim, "I did not cheat on the exam." Now, it may be hard to prove one way or the other, but there is an absolute truth. He either did or did not cheat. It's not a matter of opinion. In making an argument to defend himself, the student may draw on both facts and opinions. He may be able to demonstrate the fact that he had no external materials, no cheat sheet. And he may be able to call on classmates or friends to share opinions about his good character. On the other hand, some conclusions are opinions. For example, your friend might assert, "The Harry Potter series is great literature." Whether something, a book, a movie, music, or athletic performance, is great is typically a matter of opinion. One cannot provide empirical evidence that proves greatness. However, in arguing for Harry Potter's greatness, your friend could draw on both facts and opinions. She may start by offering the opinion that great literature must have at least 4 main characters, 1 major villain, and supernatural activities. She could then offer facts about the Harry Potter series that show it meets those criteria. Since both facts and opinions can be used in forming arguments, it is especially important that you pay close attention to the claims being made. Remember, facts can, at least in theory, be proven true or false, but opinions cannot. They can only be judged to be stronger or weaker. If you have an argument with a factual conclusion, "I did not cheat on the exam," it can, in theory, be proven right or wrong. But if the only premises that can be offered are opinions, about the character of the student, for example, then in reality, the argument can only be judged as strong or weak. It cannot be definitively proven unless there are factual premises that can be made as a part of the argument. So now you know more about evaluating premises. If a premise is factual, you can observe whether it's true or not. On the other hand, if the premise is opinion, you can only determine the strength of the premise, not its truth.